Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if it's your first time, welcome to my channel. My name is Marlene and I talk about eating disorder recovery and everything related to healing the relationship with your own body, with movement, and of course with food. And today I want to talk about a phrase that probably many of us have heard in their life or in their recovery actually. And this is the phrase, "you will never fully recover." Or also something like, "the voice will always be there," or "you will never get rid of your disorder and you just have to learn to live with it." And that was something that many people actually said to me. Even when I was inpatient in a clinic, people would actually say that to me. And I always refused to believe that because I was like, why would I actually choose recovery if I will suffer from an eating disorder anyway? So if I choose recovery, if I gain weight, that will mean that not only I will suffer because I have an eating disorder, but I will suffer even more because I don't even make my eating disorder voice happy anymore because I'm gaining weight. And at the same time, I'm still having an eating disorder. So where's the point? So at one point, I decided that this will not be true for me and that full recovery will be possible. And here I am 3 years later. And what can I tell you? Full recovery is definitely possible. But let's talk about it a little bit more. One thing that people actually think is that you will always have a voice in your head, that there will always be a part of you that is your eating disorder, and that you will constantly have to fight it. And that even if you work on your habits or if you have to gain weight, you will always be faced with this disordered voice. And that basically every meal will be a struggle. Well, guess what? This is certainly not the truth at all. I definitely don't have any voice in my head anymore, and I also don't have a part of me that is still super disordered or that's telling me not to eat or anything like this. I don't love myself every day. I don't always look in the mirror and think, wow, you look amazing. Of course not. But this is human, this is normal, and this does not mean that I still have an eating disorder. I don't think about calories. I don't base my food decisions on calories or macros or whatever. And I also don't over-exercise anymore. I actually learned how to give my body some rest. I learned how to nourish my body. And I also learned how to listen to my body. And these things definitely took time. But 3 years is not my whole life. So I can say that it's definitely possible to fully recover and to not have an eating disorder for your whole life. Well, there's one thing I have to add. I definitely have a predisposition, such as everyone else who have ever had an eating disorder. Just like with other addictions, there will be triggers. And if we don't take care, we could slip back into our disorders or into an addiction. But that doesn't mean that I'm not recovered. I just know that if for any reason I'm not eating enough, and this might be because I'm sick or because I'm grieving or whatever it is, that might be a predisposition for me to slip back into old habits. And this has to be something that everyone has to be super careful with. Again, that doesn't mean that we're not fully recovered or that recovery is not possible, but to me that means I can never make a diet again. And I'm honestly not even sad about it. Diets don't work, and diets are oftentimes a construct of the diet culture. So if we actually learn to listen to our bodies, we're more than fine. But again, I know that I have to be a little bit more careful when it comes to times where, for whatever reasons, I'm not eating enough. And again, that doesn't have to be conscious. That can be because you're sick, because you're suffering, because you're grieving, anything like this. So I know, especially in times like this, to challenge myself even more and to choose higher calorie foods, make sure that I'm eating throughout the day. And I also found ways for me that if I really have trouble eating, because I'm a person that tends to get very anxious, and so when I'm anxious, I really have trouble eating. So I found ways for myself to still get the calories in, to still get the energy in, just in order to be safe. And this is also something that actually shows you that recovery is possible, because if I would still have an eating disorder, I would definitely not make sure to get the calories in. I would not choose energy-dense drinks, for instance, to make sure that I get enough energy in. That wouldn't be something that the me from 3 years ago would have done. So just be aware that you have this predisposition. So even when you're fully recovered, you have to be a little bit more careful. You will not go on any diets, which again, there is nothing wrong with it. To me, honestly, it was a relief. When my therapist told me you can never go on a diet again, I was like, oh my God, yes, I don't even want to. But don't ever let anyone tell you that full recovery is not possible, because that's simply not true. you will definitely come to a point where you can eat freely, where you're not look at the calories on the menus anymore, where you're not base your decisions on the calories, and where you're not over exercise anymore. I know from experience, from people I work with, and also when I look at science, that it is really possible. You have to keep going, but never ever let anyone discourage you. So I hope this short video helped you a little bit, and I will see you in the next one.